This is the sound of with Carlini and Steve Black.
You know what? Diary of a Madman. That to me is such a brilliant song. I mean, Randy's guitar parts are fantastic. I love the melody. That's always been one of my favorite go-to Ozzy songs. That whole record. If there were any other Halloween songs, I don't know. I think that would be it for me. It's just a great song, right?
Yeah.
You know,
all the way around. It's a great song. Miles Kennedy from Slash's band, and also, of course, Alter Bridge. That's cool that he picked Diary of a Madman. He didn't go for the obvious, old school Black Sabbath, but that's a twisted and very cool Ozzy song.
Well, there's so many Ozzy songs that you can play for Halloween. You know what? You can just play Ozzy's entire catalog and say, and here's my Halloween special. There you have it.
Yeah, I do a 2-hour Halloween special every year for the Chop Shop. Obviously, I still try to focus on guitar players, but the first 7 or 8, it was the Ozzy Halloween special. That's what we called it, and built everything around Ozzy and Black Sabbath. But then there were just so many other great bands and great songs, so now it's just the annual Halloween special. A lot of people don't separate out songs for this holiday. I call it Haunted House Month, really, because all of October is about haunted houses, at least in the cold weather states for sure.
I like the hay rides.
Yeah,
haunted
hay rides, but anything. There's a couple of different takes, if you will. There's the I Put a Spell on You, Monster Mash, let's all, go out and get our candy and have fun Halloween music. And then there's sort of the horror film genre.
Yeah.
So 2 totally different takes. I tend to go for the more horror film genre, if you will. So on my top 7, there's some couple of dark songs.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. And I'm not going to doubt that you're going to name some songs that I'm going to go, what? Huh? I don't think I've ever heard that song, Steve. I'm positive that you're going to come up with some of those songs, because when I look down at my lowly list, I have just like the Halloween classics, the stuff that I think everybody would identify, and say, yeah, this is, at least when I ask for a request on my radio show, you see the same songs come up over and over again, but some of them I really like. And to me, you've got to play them. It's Halloween.
Right.
But a lot of people like the Ozzy stuff, Mr. Crowley for sure. That comes up. But I always go back to Black Sabbath, because to me, when you listen to The Wizard.
Yeah, one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs, by the way.
Mine too. Absolutely. Or NIB.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's super, super dark. Especially because Black Sabbath made their name of being disciples of the devil. I mean, they were, they really went for the whole shtick of the thing, so, but they carried it off because their music sounded so authentic. It was scary. So those 2 are definitely on my list. Black Sabbath for sure.
Yeah, love them both. Number 7 on my list is Welcome to My Nightmare.
Okay, that's on my list too.
Alice.
Yes.
And again, his 70% of his catalog fits, but that one is so picturesque for Halloween, Well, so that song in particular is on my list.
Vincent Price.
That is number 1 on my list. Devil's Food into Black Widow. Those I limited myself to 2 Alice Cooper songs.
Oh, okay. All right.
But number 1, Devil's Food into Black Widow. Devil's Food is the one with Vincent Price.
Well, Vincent Price, he's the ultimate, voice of Halloween. Even if you're not sure who Vincent Price is, go back and watch some of these old Edgar Allan Poe movies.
Yep.
And he's just spectacular. As soon as you hear that voice, you go, wait a minute, I know this. And it's because Alice Cooper just made it even more iconic by adding that intro to the tune.
And how creepy is it that, he's talking about a Black Widow spider?
I know.
All the things the venom does to your body and just...
Yeah. No one delivers it like Vincent Price.
No one. Number 6 for me, a newer tune, also a Nightmare, but Nightmare from Avenged Sevenfold. I love that creepy beginning. I love the way the drums come in. That sets a tone.
I don't associate that with Halloween, though. I just don't. I don't know. I just thought, I can understand. I can understand the connection, though. See, because I almost put down Inner Sandman. But you know what's on my list? Any song that James Hetfield laughs on. To me, he is the creepiest, most evil laugh.
Right.
I mean, I love it. And he does it like on more than one Metallica song for sure. But it always cracks me up because it creeps me out.
Or if he whispers about Never Neverland.
Never Neverland. I know, but when I started to think about my list, I thought, wow, that kind of came into my head. And I thought, well, is that really Halloween? But it is a creepy song, and it's about scary things at night.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, there's different types of Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, to me, Nightmare is from that slasher film genre. Mm-hmm. That feels like somebody's about to get killed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's intense, and I like it. Another one that's pretty new, number 5 on my list, is Salem from the band Nothing More. And I mean, literally the chorus is "Burn the Witch." You know, they're screaming "Burn the Witch," and then he's got an evil laugh too.
Holy
like,
hell!
Holy crap! Burn the
what
witch.
are they? They're screaming "Burn the Witch."
Yeah,
Nothing
burn
more.
the witch. Yeah. Oh, it is a creepy.
Really?
And even the beginning it almost sounds like an electronic. You're like, what is this? I don't want an electronic song. And then it kicks in and blows your mind. And then it ends with like the little Munchkins doing "The Witch is Dead, the Wicked Witch is Dead." I'm like, oh, this is creepy as hell.
You've got to ask those guys about that song. What
I have.
inspired that? What inspired that?
It's on the Chop Shop special this year. I talked to Johnny Hawkins about it.
Okay.
Believe it or not, the song was based on one girl that they knew who had a pack of girlfriends she was really close to. And when she did something outside of the pack, they all turned on her and treated her poorly. And so they took it to the next extreme of, oh, well, just burn the witch. You know, she doesn't fit in with the crowd anymore. Just like, you know, took it to a ridiculous extreme.
Wow.
And then once they had that chorus of "Burn the Witch," they were like, we should build a whole song around, you know, the old Salem witch trials. And so that's...
Can you imagine being that girl? Oh, I had a band write a song about me one time. It's called Salem. Gee, I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Another song that I put on my list is one I'm sure. What about Iron Maiden, 666, The Number of the Beast?
Again, with the spoken word intro, makes it ultra creepy.
It does.
I will shock you and say that I don't have a single Iron Maiden in my top 7.
Really?
And you know I'm a Maiden nut.
Yes.
But... yeah, sure. I mean, that could be number 1 on somebody's list, and I wouldn't argue. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is a great tune.
I almost wrote "Killer," you know, from the second album, the title track from the album Killers. Well, Killers. Killer is an Alice Cooper song. But they've got so many. I mean, they've got "Murders in the Rue Morgue" and "Prowler." I mean, there's just a Phantom of the Opera. You know, you can't go wrong with Maiden and Halloween. Mm-mm. Yeah. Number 4 on my list was my appearance of Black Sabbath, but I chose a different song than you. I went with "Children of the Grave."
That's a good one.
To me, that just reminds me of, you know, people coming up out of their grave and zombies, and I'm like, yeah, that's very
There's
Halloween-y.
so much of the Sabbath catalog. I mean, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Yeah.
I love that tune.
Yep. Electric Funeral. I mean, there's all kinds of Sabbath that fits.
Yeah.
Even the title song, Black Sabbath, that's one of the creepiest chords ever invented. That guitar chord is just scary.
Yeah, I know. The whole album.
All right, number 3 for me is "Bark at the Moon."
Really?
A little more cartoonish.
Yeah.
But there's never been a better werewolf song.
No, he just did that recently, too, at the lunar eclipse.
Yeah.
During the eclipse, he's singing "Bark at the Moon."
I doubt they glued the hair on him like they did back when they made the video. That was all real hair, all glued. Took them 9 hours to turn Ozzy into a wolf.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure all that was Sharon's doing. Okay, what about Thriller from Michael Jackson? Is that not a great Halloween tune, Steve? It's not like rock and roll.
Sure.
Stop it.
I
mean, you can't get away from Thriller on Halloween.
I've never heard the song all the way through. Somebody told me it was like 8 or 9 minutes or something.
Never?
10. No,
God.
I can't say what I really want to say.
So that means you can't do the dance either?
I don't even know what the dance is. First of all, zombies don't dance. Right?
Well, it depends on how much electricity you put through them.
I don't know. I just don't do pop. I just don't do it. Mm-hmm. Does it belong? Sure. I mean, if you're having a party over and you got all walks of life and you put that song on, very few people are going to complain.
Yeah.
I probably would then go to your record collection, find some Alice Cooper, and insist that you play that too. But
such a purist. So what's next?
Number 2 on my list, since we already talked about number 1 being Alice Cooper, is a song called Murder from David Gilmour.
Okay, there you go. That's the song. Don't know it.
Oh, you've never heard it?
No.
David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, so it sounds like a Pink Floyd song, wrote a song about what it's like to be a serial killer from the serial killer's point of view. So he talks about walking up behind someone and being repulsed out of what you're about to do, the stabbing, the watching the blood leave the lifeless body, and then the feeling sick afterwards knowing that you just killed somebody, but you didn't have the willpower to control that compulsion.
Wow.
And that you were going to do it again. And it is so creepy.
I have watched every episode of Dexter, so I got to believe that somewhere in that show that they played that song. I'm going to have to go back and listen.
Interesting. Yeah, it came out in 1984. It's on his solo album. About Face is the name of the solo album. And might be his second or third best guitar solo of all time is in that song. It is unbelievable, but very, very creepy.
Well, you mentioned Monster Mash, and you cannot get away from Monster Mash. It is absolutely the best Halloween song ever written ever.
So you did the mash.
The Monster Mash.
Yes. I figured you did. Can we just rapid fire through a few honorable mentions?
Go.
First of all, AC/DC has a bunch that really work too, but Night Prowler is gorgeous.
Night Prowler is good.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's a song nobody else in the world has ever heard called Subway Terror, about a subway murderer who waits for people and pushes them in front of the train and then gets on board and stalks and stabs. It's from a band called Stars. It is evil. Purely evil.
My God, Steve, what do you listen to at night? I'm worried about you now.
I listened to a song called You're Never Alone from Armored Saint. And the chorus is, "You're never alone with a madman," as this guy follows you everywhere you go. And he eventually kills them too. Just saying. All right, you've had enough of this.
I have.
Well,
oh my God.
I talked to Lizzie Hale just a handful of days ago, and I asked her what she listens to for Halloween, and she went in a little bit more of an insane direction. But I was proud of her for choosing Alice Cooper.
Well, after she listens to this, it may be the last time you talk to Lizzie Hale.
I'm all about Alice Cooper around this time of year. And I kind of want to say, it's so funny because it used to be like Poison or Feed My Frankenstein and everything. And I've gotten really into the Ballad of Dwight Fry now because he's just so weird and insane in that song. He just always had the ability to do that. So yeah, I like that one.
I've gotta get out of here. I 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 gotta get out of here.
The sound of